Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 690 if you're in my program. 690, that's crazy cool. And also 436 if you're listening to this on the app or the podcast or YouTube or wherever you may be listening to this. I hope you're absolutely wonderful as always, wherever you are in the world. And before we jump into today's content, if you would like to learn the art and the science of hypnosis, live and in person with myself, so I get to teach you hypnosis, so you can hypnotize people, you can get that rapport with your unconscious mind yourself, so you don't have to rely on the hypnosis tracks and all that. I mean, they're great, of course, I wouldn't be doing them, but it doesn't always solve everything straight away or as quickly as we like. At the end of the day, if you get that live connection, you'll be able to make a quicker, deeper change. I'm running a hypnosis weekend in December in San Diego, live and in person. If you'd like to go ahead and get the real big discount, it is crazy, ridiculously low. Lowest it'll ever be. It'll be 4 times the amount next year. This is something I haven't done for a long time, as in this hypnosis weekend for a long time, and I think it'll be a perfect thing for maybe you to attend. I'd love to be able to teach you hypnosis. Do fast, quick, rapid inductions. Do long, relaxing ones. Do the therapeutic change and all that in between. So you can even get financially rewarded if you choose. There's nothing better for me to work with clients in my program and be a part of that transformation. So if you're interested, go to NLPhypnosistrainings.com/San Diego. So that is NLPhypnosistrainings.com/San Diego. And you'll be able to get all the information right there as to the details, what you'll learn, and also you can go ahead and enroll. Like I said, it is ridiculously low in cost, and it just means we're going to have a very small group this time. I want to keep it really, really small so we can really connect with one another. So if you're interested, we've got a few more spaces left. But other than that, let's get into today's episode. There's been a bit of a delay since I last published. I've actually went to Nashville and I was teaching an event, I was doing like a talk at a summit, like a long weekend summit. And I was speaking there, and it was wonderful. It was like, must have been like 200 or so people there, and it was wonderful to get back on stage again. It's not something I usually do, but I always love speaking on stage, which is a far cry from how I used to be when I used to blush, be self-conscious, and really dislike the thought of speaking in front of 1 or 2 people. Huge transformation, and let's talk about transformation in today's episode. As I said, I've been away for a while teaching, and I want you to learn a little bit yourself. Now, one of the pitfalls or the illusions of the self-development world is that we think to change, it is a long time. That it'll take maybe years, because we've had the issue for years. I mean, if we've had the issue for 40 years, it's going to take a long, long time to undo that level of programming and habit and neuroassociations, beliefs and feelings and emotions and actions and reactions. But it is a myth. It is an absolute lie. And I don't want you to fall in it, because the journey of transformation can actually happen in a second, in a moment that you decide, consciously and unconsciously, that something's got to change, that something's got to be done, where you are sick and tired of battling each and every day, wherever you are experiencing that issue. And it doesn't matter what issue. I mean, I mainly work with people who feel like a bit of the imposter syndrome or money issues when it comes to growing their business as a businessman or an entrepreneur, or people in the professional space when they want to excel and they want to achieve more, when they don't feel maybe capable or confident enough. And a lot of people that I speak to when they go into my program, in the beginning, they think it will take a long time. And it's easy to understand why. But the truth is, it is that decision. And it comes in a few parts. First of all, there's the decision to do something. Sometimes it's half the battle. Many people waver, many people hesitate, are unwilling to really put the time and effort into it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be years. I mean, my program's only 8 weeks, so if you can imagine absolutely letting go of your limitation within 8 weeks, is a very short time in terms of a lifetime of pain. So yes, we can shrink down the transformation to a very short period of time and give us all the skills, the resources to deal with any turbulent situation, no matter what, and get where you want on autopilot. But before that journey of completion of 8 weeks takes place, it comes from the decision to do something. When you are tired of the things which hold you back, and there's a few aspects within that decision which leads us to the decision of transformation. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if you went in my program or not. I mean, it's one of those things I would love if people were to go into the program if we feel like they're a good fit. But it's not going to change my life significantly. So wherever you change it through other means, fantastic. Makes the world a better place once you are in a better place, when you feel unstoppable. But that decision part is broken down into a few aspects. Now, the first one is that you have to increase, or at least recognize and become conscious of what your issue is really doing. Most of the time we experience it, but we're not aware of the impact of the future and also the actual experience of it in different areas of our life. So once you start to recognize that actually this is worth letting go, like if your anxiety or worries or doubts or your imposter syndrome or whatever issue you're experiencing, if you were to weigh up and even total up the amount of hours that you experience the issue every day, and then multiply it by 365, it will hopefully frighten you to make a decision. And it's okay to be frightened. It's okay. I mean, if we think of the the Christmas story of Dickens, of the ghost of the Christmas present, past, and future, it was a journey of taking Scrooge to the effects if he does not change, how life will be different, not just for himself, but yes, within his legacy, but also those he impacts around them, or the people it impacts around him, that we don't really recognize. Because we are obviously seeing the world subjectively, but when we look through the eyes that maybe our child is modeling our anxiety, which is a horrible thought to have, it should frighten us. It should scare us that the person that we love the most might be taking on our pain by learning on it. And even if we say, well, Joseph, I hide my issue from my child, 93% of all communication is unconscious, and there's no way you are unconsciously communicating the example you wish to be. It's impossible. You may be doing it the 7% conscious of the words that we say, but the physiology and the tone, you will be communicating some of that, or if not a lot, to those in our life, especially impressionable people. Maybe it's having an effect on our relationship or future relationship if we don't solve this issue. Maybe it's having an effect on your income potentiality, because we know issues stop us from moving forward. So that would be something which would really scare me, because I want to live life, maybe where it be giving to charities or helping people with the success that you would receive. So we've got to understand the impact that our issue has on every part of our life, not just what we feel, but every part of it. We've got to weigh it up like a business plan, look out all the pitfalls of this, write them down, which many people won't. and you might not, and it's okay if you don't. But seriously, we've got to become conscious. If we're to make the transformation of our life, we must weigh up everything. We can't hide away from it. We cannot just look in the other direction. We've got to pay attention. We've got to really understand the pain and the consequence of remaining in pain or within our issue. And people won't like me for saying things like that sometimes, because it is a hard thing. It is a painful thing, of course. But I'm not here to make you feel just good, because that would be a disservice to you. It would be a disservice to keep you in a fluffiness when the reality is, if something doesn't change, we'll remain the same and live a life of regret. I don't want to be that person who holds back when we're at the end of our life looking back and thinking of all the things we could have done if we'd have made that decision to change. So yes, we must recognize the absolute consequence of us not changing. And if it doesn't frighten us, then the chances are we're not doing it right, or we're lying to ourselves, or maybe the issue isn't that big. I mean, if you do weigh it all, go, it's okay, I can deal with that, then that's fine too. It's personal choice. But we have to still wake up and become conscious of those consequences. Now, the other part is, and here's a really good question I ask myself, is who am I listening to? Like, seriously, who am I listening to in my life that is going to help me? And are they helping me? It would be ridiculous to go to like a personal trainer, and when you're working out with them, you see that they're unhealthily obese. It would not make sense to take advice from someone who is the opposite of your goal. Like, you want to do that. I would not want to take business advice from someone who's never ran a business. It wouldn't make sense. So we've got to also look into the influences that are in our awareness of our conscious mind. Are people putting us down? Are people causing us to have a mixed message of how we should be? Is the external noise overpowering our inner truth? Because other people's opinions of you, and even advice to you, can sometimes, advice is for sometimes, so other people's opinions of you is really not your business. You've got to really look for the right advice. You've got to seek out someone who knows how to get you to where you want to be. If you are in a business and your business was turning over, say, $20,000 every single month, and you wanted to scale it up to $50,000 every month, you would seek advice from someone who's done and does more than the 50,000. You wouldn't be talking to someone doing 10,000 because they are not at your level. So be conscious of who you're listening to. Be conscious of the advice that you receive, even if that's my advice. I might not be the best person for you to really absorb all the information. I try to choose my topics very, very wisely. So that is not usually the case. But if you were to ask me about American football, although I live in America, I have no idea. I saw 2 games, I think. And I don't know, I didn't really understand it too much. I know a bit about rugby in England, but not American football. I wouldn't want you taking advice about American football when it comes to me. I have no idea. Now, if you ask me about how to progress your life to the success that you desire, then I like to think after 18 years of doing this, then I'm pretty certain and secure in myself I could do that. But you have to pay attention, at the very least, of where that input is coming from. We could even branch it out to the news, to the things which are in our conscious awareness. I don't know if, I think I told this to my group, that a while ago, let me backtrack. I never watch the news, but I had the Sky News app. And every morning I'd look at it and I'd be thinking, well, I can choose what I listen to, look at by the pictures or the wording and things like that. But I noticed that level of information, which a lot of it was none of my business, or it wasn't something that was allowing me to be in a productive state to make a bigger change within other people. So I chose to delete the app. And that noise, or that rent that I was renting out to the news aspect in my mind, was now free. And something else could take its place. I could be more creative. I was more in a positive state. It was a fantastic decision to see where the noise is coming from. Who am I listening to? Am I listening to my friends who don't have that? Then the chances are I shouldn't be listening to my friends on that level. Yeah, we can talk about other things. It doesn't mean we have to lose our friends. So my computer just kind of switched off right there, but I was just pretty much saying we don't have to lose our friends, but just be conscious of what you're speaking about. And it goes for everything when it comes from the input that we're surrounding ourselves with. That is our choice. It comes from us. We can decide to listen to other people who will show us the way forward. We can choose to be able to consider the impact of what our issue will create if we remain the same, or even what it's created in the past. We can also choose to decide what will happen if we were to transform. I think about it like this, right? Let's just say you and I were having a conversation in 4-6 weeks. And I say, well, how are you doing? And you go, Joseph, I feel so certain in myself. I feel so confident, unstoppably so. I feel so happy, so content, more peace than I've ever felt in my whole life. And because of that, my relationship has changed. Or maybe it was, I'm just ready for a relationship. Actually, people are coming to me now because I'm operating from a different level. My business is growing, or my career is transforming. I'm recognizing my own potential, and so are others. I'm finally getting this. And because of that, things are coming my way, like pay rises and clients and all the money and the abundance. And I'm now giving to charities. I'm totally transformed every area of my life. But more importantly, I just feel so profoundly happy within myself that it's the best thing ever. Now imagine if we were then talking in 5 years' time. Where would your life be different? How does your path transform? How does it take that huge transformation that allows you to experience what is meant to be done, where you feel exactly how you want to in every moment, in every second, where you have taken back the control and you also feel freedom? How would that liberating feeling allow you to be? What would it do for you? How would that make an impact? So now we're deciding if we like the impact, the negative consequence, but also what will happen. Now, at this point, we've got to make a decision. Many people don't want you to make a decision. They want to keep you stuck. Society can do sometimes, but not me. I want you to progress. I want you to shine. I want you to thrive. I want you to have what you want to and what you desire. It's all there. But you've got to make that decision in that moment, knowing the consequence of the impact of keeping the issue, and also the consequence and the impact once you've made that change. That is the first thing. Once you decide, then the solution will start to appear to you. It will be there waiting for you. But the solution won't be there until you decide that you're now ready to change, that you're ready to invest the time. Like even with my program, like we could take you from where you are to where you want to be within 8 weeks for an undeniable experience. Would you be willing to do whatever it takes? Even if you've invested like an hour and a half a week, would you be willing to do it? If it would transform your whole previous life to your whole future life, would that be something that you would go, yes, I would do this in a heartbeat? If you're at that level and at that point, then you're onto a good thing. If you're not, keep on discovering why that might be the case. where that self-sabotage is coming from. Because I know there's a big part of you consciously wanting to change. I know there's a big part of you desiring what you truly desire, but there's something holding you back. There's something which is staying stuck right now. And that is what has to go. That's what's got to disappear. And that comes from you. It is all on you, my friend. And that's good news because it means you have the power to reclaim the control. It shows that it's within you that has to be transformed. So just know that. Just know that it's all there for you. It's waiting there for you. But it comes from the action. It comes from the decision that something must change. We think about, I don't know if I said this previously, but there's that level of the lack of indecision is actually a decision. Think about it, right? By deciding not to do something, you're still deciding to not do it. So most of the time, that is where we are. We're deciding, we're even like delaying things. I'll do it next year. I'll do it in 6 weeks. I'll do it once, I've turned the corner a little bit, or once I've saved up some money, or once, when the work's a bit slower, or, whatever the reason is. But no, that's a decision to hesitate. It's a decision to remain the same. And I think that's a big illusion. I really do. I had a conversation a while ago, and it was almost as if they wanted to work on their symptoms for a little bit longer, just so they could just turn the corner. I understand intuitively why that would be the sense, or make sense to a degree. But that just keeps us in battling mode, or delayed mode, or hesitation. And so I would disagree. I really would, because I see it time and time again. Once you still decide to do it and make the change, that is where the happiness happens. Once you solve that root cause. And like as I believe in you, I know that you have what it takes. And when you change, you make a change in every area. It doesn't change you. The decision to know that, look, once you change, you become the example, that you create a legacy, that you decide that actually you're more important and you deserve this change and you're willing to do that, then everything else will benefit. The world will benefit. No one benefits from you remaining stuck. Even if you say, well, that person likes me being stuck, well, that's not a true benefit. That is not what was meant to be happening. You must decide that something must change. And in that decision, you will make an impact, not just for yourself, but for so many. So sometimes I always like to think about it. In my life, I will be of disservice to people if I didn't mention. We got to decide. Otherwise, I'm keeping people stuck. And sometimes when it comes to it, it's of disservice to other people if I remain the same. If I remain the same, I would not have done these podcasts, or YouTube, or apps, or hypnosis, or whatever it is. Fill in the blank. And based on a lot of feedback I've got over the years, I think that's been a great decision, right? I feel like most episodes get downloaded 5,000 times, and we've had like over 8 million downloads between YouTube and podcasts, and I think that must mean there's a few repeat listeners. I think it's been of great value, and although it's for free, it's a great value. But it wouldn't have happened if I didn't decide. And I sometimes wonder, like, what would happen if you decided? What would happen if you personally decided? How would that make an impact to someone else out there? I also wonder sometimes that people are screaming out for you. Like if you've got a business, or if you're single and you want a relationship, or you want to progress in your career. The customers, the person, the people, the family, they are screaming out for you to change because they will receive so much because of it. And I think that's where the disservice to others comes in when we remain the same. That's just my opinion sometimes. And I like to think that motivates me. I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And although I'm away and doing lots of things, and when it comes to, at times anyway, and I can't always do these free podcasts as much as I'd love to. But like, I'm always coming back, I need to get another episode out. I want to be able to help someone. There might be just one person One person, if one person gets impacted, then that made the difference. That did something. And I feel like that's the same for you. Once you make the decision to change, there's that one person out there. By you changing, somehow, some way, they will transform too. And we never know how always until we made that decision. But please just make a decision to be the best version of you. I believe in you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, of course, if you do want our help to get you to where you want to be 100%, there's actually probably no slots or very little slots available right now to apply. But just go to josephclough.info/go and just check on, see if there is. You might have to keep going back there in case there isn't. But it's an opportunity to make that decision. And then we will figure out together where you are, where you want to be, get that clarity. And then if we can say, look, we can get you from where you are to where you want to be all within 8 weeks, we will show you how we would do that. Now, of course, if we cannot do that, we'll say, look, we can't do this, but hopefully this person can, or this solution will be here. Because we can't help everyone, but we can help the right person transform. So either way, the call is all about you. You got to be a professional. You got to treat this and be very secure that, look, now is the time to change in everywhere and go all in on it. But if you are, josephclough.info/go. And once again, if you are interested in the hypnosis weekend coming up in December in San Diego, go to nlphypnosistrainings.com/San Diego. Super cheap and affordable right now, ridiculously so. We're actually bumping up the prices with the early bird going out, but I think there might be a few slots of the early bird. But you'll get to speak to me live, of course, in person, and I'll get to teach you hypnosis. So that's nlphypnosistrainings.com/San Diego. So you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Many thanks, and goodbye.